Why do some women seem to effortlessly attract commitment, respect, and emotional consistency from a man, while others constantly run into confusion, mixed signals, and emotional uncertainty? Why is it that two women can be equally beautiful, equally intelligent, equally kind, yet one is treated with deep respect while the other is slowly taken for granted? Most people assume the answer must be looks, luck, or timing, but that's rarely the real reason. It's also not about playing games, pretending to be someone you're not, or trying to manipulate someone into loving you. The real difference lies in something far more powerful: mental strength. The truth is that men respond very differently to a woman who has a strong mind. Not a woman who is cold or emotionally closed off, not someone who builds walls around her heart, but a woman who is grounded, who trusts herself, who understands her value, and who refuses to bend that value just to keep someone interested. A mentally strong woman doesn't chase love, she attracts it. She doesn't beg for attention, she inspires it. And she doesn't try to convince someone to see her worth. Her presence already communicates it. By the time you finish this video, you're going to understand 3 powerful mindset shifts that can completely transform the way you carry yourself in relationships and in life. Because when your mind is strong, something remarkable happens. You stop trying to convince people to choose you. Instead, your calm confidence makes the right people want to. So let's begin. The first mindset shift is this: stop over-explaining. Let's be honest for a moment. Almost everyone has done this at some point. You sit there staring at your phone, typing a long, emotional message. You read it again. You add another sentence, then another paragraph. You try to explain exactly how you feel, why you feel that way, what you meant earlier, what you hope will happen next. Deep down, the hope is simple. If you explain yourself clearly enough, maybe he'll finally understand you. Maybe he'll realize your value. Maybe he'll regret pulling away. Maybe he'll step up. But here's something important to understand. Mentally strong people don't beg to be understood. They don't send paragraphs trying to convince someone that their feelings matter. They communicate clearly, calmly, and directly. Then they allow their boundaries to speak louder than their explanations. Over-explaining often comes from a subtle place of insecurity. It's the feeling that if you just say things perfectly enough, someone will finally see your worth. But the reality is this: if someone genuinely wants to understand you, they will. And if they don't want to understand you, no amount of explanation will make them care. A strong woman understands this deeply. She speaks with clarity, not desperation. Imagine this situation. You've been seeing someone for a few weeks. The connection seems promising. Conversations are great. There's chemistry. Things feel like they might be heading somewhere meaningful. Then suddenly, something changes. He takes longer to respond to messages. Plans get canceled. The energy shifts slightly. Many people immediately panic in that moment. Their mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? Is he losing interest? And then the urge appears. The urge to explain everything, to send a long message trying to fix the situation. But mental strength means resisting that impulse. Instead of writing a long emotional paragraph, a grounded woman communicates simply and calmly. Her words are clear, respectful, and concise. No pressure, no emotional overload, just clarity. This kind of communication does something very powerful. It shows that you respect yourself and your own energy. Because when someone constantly over-explains themselves, it subtly communicates something. They are trying to earn understanding. But understanding should never need to be earned. It should be mutual. The next time you feel the urge to send a long message explaining every thought and emotion, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a simple question. Am I sharing this because I feel calm and grounded? Or am I sharing this because I want validation, reassurance, or approval? Sometimes the desire to be understood is actually just another way of trying to earn love. And love should never need to be earned through emotional exhaustion. You are not here to convince someone to care. You are here to connect with someone who already does. Now let's move to the second mindset shift. Keep your energy in your body. This concept might sound unusual at first, but it's one of the most important lessons in emotional strength. When people talk about being magnetic, They're often referring to something subtle but powerful: emotional self-possession. Think of yourself like a magnet. Your presence, your calmness, your self-trust, these things create attraction. But the moment you start chasing, overthinking, or reacting impulsively, your energy begins to scatter outward. Instead of being centered, you become focused on someone else's actions. And when that happens, your magnetism fades. For example, imagine that someone you're dating suddenly becomes distant. Messages slow down, plans become uncertain. Many people react immediately. They send more texts, they ask for explanations, they try to close the emotional gap as quickly as possible. But a mentally strong woman does something different. She notices the change, but she doesn't panic. She doesn't spiral into anxiety. She stays centered within herself. Instead of pouring all of her energy into figuring him out, she redirects that energy back into her own life. She goes to the gym. She takes a walk. She meets friends. She focuses on work, hobbies, and personal growth. This doesn't mean she's pretending not to care. It means she refuses to abandon herself in order to chase someone else's attention. There is a huge difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional and impulsive. Responding is calm and intentional. When you keep your energy in your body, you remain grounded even when someone else's behavior changes. And that calmness sends a powerful message without a single word. It says, I don't panic when things shift. I don't lose myself because someone else becomes inconsistent. I'm not here to audition for someone's affection. I'm here to choose. That kind of emotional stability is incredibly attractive because people are naturally drawn to those who feel complete within themselves, not people who need constant reassurance to feel secure. Think about people who come out of toxic relationships. One of the most common things they say is, I feel completely drained. That's because unhealthy dynamics slowly drain emotional energy. Bit by bit, you start giving away your time, your attention, your mental focus, and your emotional stability. Eventually, you realize you've lost touch with yourself. You've been pouring everything outward. Keeping your energy in your body protects you from that. It reminds you that your life, your peace, and your emotional well-being matter. Now let's move to the third and most powerful mindset shift. You are the clarity. One of the biggest frustrations in dating is uncertainty. People often say things like, I'm confused. I'm not sure what I want. Let's just see where things go. Those phrases can create endless emotional guessing games. But here's something many people eventually realize. When someone says they're confused, they're often not confused. They simply don't want to take responsibility for being honest. But here's the real secret. A mentally strong woman doesn't chase clarity. She becomes the clarity. She doesn't wait for someone else to define the relationship. She defines her standards. She understands what she wants, what she values, and what she refuses to accept. And she allows those standards to guide her decisions. Think about a simple math question. You don't ask someone what 2 plus 2 equals because you already know the answer. You only ask questions when you don't trust your own judgment. The same thing happens in relationships. If you constantly find yourself asking, where do I stand? It might be time to shift the focus inward. Ask yourself instead, what do I actually want? What are my standards? And most importantly, am I honoring those standards? Because the truth is that your intuition usually knows when something isn't aligned, when someone is inconsistent, when effort is missing, when emotional availability isn't there. The challenge isn't recognizing it. The challenge is trusting yourself enough to act on what you already see. That's what real self-respect looks like. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. Every time you choose self-respect over self-doubt, you strengthen your confidence. Every time you listen to your intuition instead of ignoring it, you build deeper trust with yourself. Over time, that inner trust becomes your foundation. You stop chasing clarity because you already have it. You know who you are, you know what you deserve, and you know that anything less than that isn't worth settling for. So let's bring everything together. There are 3 key mindset shifts that transform the way you experience relationships. First, Stop over-explaining. Communicate clearly, but never feel the need to convince someone to understand you. Second, keep your energy in your body. Don't chase, panic, or abandon yourself when someone else becomes inconsistent. Stay grounded in your own life. And third, remember that you are the clarity. You don't need someone else to define your worth, your standards, or your direction. You already know what alignment feels like. When you live from these principles, something interesting happens. You stop trying to impress people. You stop trying to win someone over. You stop shrinking yourself to maintain someone else's attention. Instead, you become calm, confident, and deeply self-respecting. And that kind of energy changes everything, because the right people are naturally drawn to someone who knows their value, not someone who constantly tries to prove it. Strong women don't chase love, they embody it. And when they do, the relationships that enter their lives reflect that same strength.